Sophie Cunningham makes her opinion of Indiana Fever star extremely clear. Sophie Cunningham called one of her Indiana Fever teammates the best human that you could possibly ever be around. Sophie Cunningham had quite an eventful first season as a member of the Indiana Fever. She averaged 8.6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists and 1.0 steal in 30 games, establishing herself as a key piece off the bench for the team. The 29-year-old also created a reputation as an enforcer for the Fever, especially after she got into a scuffle during a June game against the Connecticut Sun in retaliation after her teammate Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye and shoved. Furthermore, despite being new to the team, Cunningham has quickly developed a strong bond with her teammates. She was often seen joking around with Clark and Lexi Hall, and while her season ended prematurely due to an MCL injury, she continued cheering for the Fever from the sidelines. That said, there's no doubt that Cunningham absolutely loved her first year with the franchise. Interestingly, one particular Indiana teammate stood out in Cunningham's eyes, especially the way she handled herself amid the adversity the Fever faced throughout the season: Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey is the most selfless, humble human you will ever meet, Cunningham said of Mitchell during the latest episode of her Show Me Something podcast. And I think if we would have made it, if we would won and she would have been healthy, she should have been MVP. I'm not taking away from Aya Wilson, but nobody in our entire league could stop Kelsey Mitchell this year. And I want to be her biggest fan because she is just, I'm not kidding, the best human that you could possibly ever be around. Mitchell played all 44 regular season games for the Fever during the 2025 season and was an MVP candidate. She led Indiana all the way to the WNBA semifinals, although she had to exit Game 5 against the Las Vegas Aces as she pushed herself to a point of exhaustion where she couldn't go anymore, per Cunningham. From Cunningham's statement, it was clear that Mitchell really established herself as a leader of the team. Both Cunningham and Mitchell are unrestricted free agents this WNBA offseason, so it will be interesting to see if they will be able to reunite in Indiana. Regardless of what happens though, Cunningham has nothing but love and admiration for Mitchell. The WNBA is no stranger to passionate takes, fiery rivalries, and players who wear their hearts on their sleeves. But few embody that competitive fire quite like Sophie Cunningham, the Phoenix Mercury's sharpshooter and unapologetic truth-teller. And when it comes to Indiana Fever sensation Caitlin Clark, Cunningham isn't mincing words anymore. What she said, and the way she said it, made her opinion about the rookie phenom unmistakably clear. The tension before the truth. The Mercury and Fever games this season have carried a distinct electricity. The young Fever team, led by Clark, has brought in record-breaking crowds and unprecedented viewership. But the increased spotlight has also created friction. Every hard foul, every stare down, every comment during a timeout seems to become a viral moment. Cunningham, known for her toughness and intensity, has been both an instigator and a protector on the court. When she faced off against Clark, fans expected fireworks, and they got them. From physical plays to pointed glances, every possession between the two was a chess match of will and skill. But the real storm brewed after the final buzzer, when Cunningham finally gave her unfiltered thoughts. The quote that shook the internet. After another Fever Mercury matchup filled with highlight reel shots and bruising defense, reporters asked Cunningham what she thought of Clark and her rapidly growing influence on the league. With that trademark confidence, Sophie leaned into the mic and said, "Caitlin's got talent, no doubt about it. But talent's one thing, earning respect is another. She's learning and she's taking her hits, but she's also changing the game. I can respect that, even if I'm not giving her anything easy." It was the perfect blend of acknowledgement and challenge, the veteran competitor recognizing greatness, but also making it clear that no rookie, no matter how hyped, would get a free pass in her house. Fans immediately took to social media, dissecting every syllable. Some read her tone as admiration wrapped in rivalry. Others saw it as a subtle warning. Clark might be the future, but players like Cunningham are still the present, and they're not ready to hand over the crown. Respect earned, not given. For Sophie Cunningham, this isn't new territory. She's built her reputation on grit, diving for loose balls, jawing with opponents, taking charges, and hitting clutch threes when the game is on the line. She's the player who'll smile after a hard foul, the one who thrives on energy, tension, and noise. So, when she talks about earning respect, she's speaking from experience. Cunningham came into the league without the massive fanfare Clark enjoys today. There were no nationwide broadcasts following her every move, no viral clips lighting up Twitter. She had to grind her way to every minute of playing time. That's why her perspective carries weight. When Sophie says she respects Clark for taking her hits, she's acknowledging that Clark has stayed poised amid relentless physicality and scrutiny. But the underlying message is clear. Cunningham's not going to bend just because the cameras are on. A league in transition. Caitlin Clark's arrival has changed the entire rhythm of the WNBA. Games involving her and the Fever have shattered attendance and ratings records. Merch sales are booming. Even casual fans, those who might not have watched a women's basketball game before, are tuning in. And with that surge in attention comes a seismic shift in locker room dynamics. Veterans like Cunningham now find themselves at a crossroads. Balance admiration for what Clark represents with a fierce desire to defend the league's legacy. Cunningham's statement reflects that evolution. It's not envy, it's the voice of a player determined to make sure the culture of the WNBA doesn't change just because the audience has. The message is powerful. You can be a star, but you still have to earn your stripes. The rivalry that fans love. Sports thrive on contrast, and Cunningham versus Clark is a perfect storm of personalities. Clark's composed confidence versus Cunningham's unapologetic fire. Clark's finesse versus Cunningham's grit. Each game between the Fever and Mercury feels like an emotional roller coaster, and fans are eating it up. During one particularly intense matchup, cameras caught Cunningham smirking after Clark drained a deep three over her. It wasn't disrespect, it was recognition. The type of moment that says, "Okay kid, you got me this time." Later, Clark returned the gesture with a subtle nod after Cunningham sank a triple of her own from the corner. This is what makes the WNBA special right now, not just talent, but narrative. A new wave of stars rising against veterans who have built the foundation. It's the story of legacy meeting revolution. Behind the words, mutual motivation. Off the court, people who know both players describe a mutual respect that runs deeper than the headlines suggest. Cunningham has reportedly praised Clark's work ethic in private conversations, calling her a competitor you can't help but notice.